Warning, this Bleach podcast features many spoilers from the upcoming anime arc 1000-Year Blood War. So if you've not read the manga or you do not want to hear spoilers for the upcoming arc, viewer discretion is advised. Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to Bleach Boys number 9. We are finally out of the fillers. We're moving into the canon. We get to see this episode, the creepy Orihime stuff. Grimmjow comes back for a second time, and Orihime leaves and goes to Hueco Mundo. So that's what we have to look forward to this time. If you don't remember a lot of what happens or how that happens, we got you guys covered.
I'll fill you in.
Oh.
So starting off, very first episode, we're coming out of the filler, which was hit or miss if you didn't see the last episode.
I think it was just garbage, right?
Some of it was good. The Kendo episode was good.
Kendo episode
Did
was
you
good.
really want to, is the Kendo episode worth all the other ones?
Yeah, well, no.
No.
Okay.
But I say
that was a quick yeah.
watch the Kendo episode and then just, skip forward.
Skippity skip.
So we see Ulquiorra and Yammy. They arrive to a room with Aizen. So we kind of get an all-star cast here. And there's some other Roncar there. I think one of them is Hallible, but they haven't ever shown her. You just kind of get to see her from the back. And
Like
it
a
looks
silhouette or just
it
the back
looks
of her
like
dome.
Hallible, but they probably haven't decided to make Hallible an actual character at
I
this
think
point.
it's actually the pain shot you're talking about from Naruto. It's just
No, but
pain.
she's not blacked out. Like
Oh,
she's like
yeah.
actual like a
No, I
person, but they just don't acknowledge her at all.
I'm just going off the spiky hair. It's probably pain.
Sure. So Aizen is standing in front of a guy. He's kind of wrapped in bandages, kind of like kneeling on the ground. Aizen says that the Hogyoku will awaken exactly when the Soul Society expects it to, so kudos to them.
Oh, nice.
But there is a secret that he doubts even Urahara Kisuke knows about, who created the Hogyoku. When a Hogyoku in a dormant state with its seal removed is joined with someone who possesses twice the spirit energy of a captain. Okay, so that's how strong Aizen is at this point.
Right now.
Okay,
Wait, so is this exposition coming from a dude that's wrapped up in bandages?
it's coming from Aizen.
From
He's kind of
Aizen.
explaining what he's about to do.
He's a smart man.
Yeah. He says, for a very short time, its full power is suddenly released as if the Hogyoku were completely awakened once again. So you can kind of like overclock it pretty much for like a little bit.
So this does bring up a lot of plot holes for me. He says a Hogyoku, which would imply the existence of multiple Hogyokus.
He probably said the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Good point.
I'm just taking notes here.
Yeah. But he seems to know an awful lot about it.
Yeah,
This is
he
true.
really does. But you do kind of find out later that like he kind of stalked Urahara a lot. So he was a little bit of a creep.
Somebody's watching me.
So he then does use the Hogyoku, and it kind of like lights up and shatters the bandages around this person who was on the ground. And this is where we get the first time ever. I don't remember it being this
Is it
early. We see
Wanderweiss?
Wanderweiss.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember.
yeah.
Yeah.
I had no recollection of us seeing him so early on.
Yeah,
but
I remember
it's
he was
Wanderweiss.
introduced early, but I don't remember why.
Aizen then asks Ulquiorra if he remembers the order that he gave him a month ago. So this is a long time coming. And then he's like, it's now time for that, and I'll give you choice. Take whoever you want with you. Aizen goes to leave the room, stops, and he goes like, oh, do you want to go too, Grimmjow? And then like that's kind of the setup for the episode.
I remember that because he's like, he's leaning up
he's
against the wall, all pissed.
He's not happy.
He's
So
got the one arm.
So does Yammy have his arm cut off
yes,
still?
Yammy got his arm back.
Okay.
How?
Yeah.
Because Ulquiorra brought the arm back with him, and
that's
then
right.
they had it resealed, and
And
he
he said-
killed the person that fucking resealed it for him.
Oh,
So-
that's right. Dick move.
Yeah.
It's Yammy.
So we get to see Ichigo. He's still training with the visors. He hasn't made much improvement because he can only wear his mask for just over 10 seconds.
I
and
do
that's
remember that.
after
yeah.
training for a whole month at this point. So
Wow.
So really, it seems like there was a time skip in between the fillers because the last time we saw Ichigo was kind of right before the fillers, and that's when they saw Ulquiorra show up during the last kind of filler episode where Urahara ran into him, and now it's a month later.
Weird.
So Shinji says that they still have 2 months left before the Hogyoku awakens, so not a lot of time left, but still a little bit of time left to try and hurry up and get Ichigo ready.
If we think about it in context, Ichigo gets fucking powerful in those 2
Oh,
weeks.
yeah.
Like fucking powerful.
Well, spoiler alert, he doesn't get those 2 months, so he gets even more powerful even quicker.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because we cut to Ukitake now, who is sipping some tea, and then we do actually see, I don't know if you guys remember what we talked about in the last episode, Rukia and Orihime are in the Soul Society training.
Oh!
So it is true that she is not in the real world
yeah.
when Ulquiorra went there. She's in the Soul Society.
Wow.
And Ukitake, just being kind of a cool dude, he's talking about how happy he is that Rukia has finally found a friend.
Oh, I remember
Um,
this. They're sitting it by like a hill, right?
Yeah,
A
and they're like
grassy
in a
hill?
pit.
Is
like,
he not talking to Kyoraku?
He's talking to Shuei,
Oh,
the
yeah,
69
69
guy.
guy,
Yeah. I remember this
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
vividly.
So Shuhei comes off as a little bit of I don't know what you would. I want to say
prick?
racist,
Oh.
but I don't think that's the right term because he says Ukitake's like, "Oh, I'm just glad she found a friend," And she always like, even though she's a human, like that's a bad thing, like with a bad connotation. And then Ukitake, fucking awesome dude, quickly is like, hey, you shouldn't talk like that. It's like, come on, man.
Come on, it's 2020.
Yeah. And then he says, who knows, they may one day become Soul Reapers once they pass to the Soul Society. So they really do have a second life.
That's pretty badass.
Cool.
So they get to have all this fun as a human and then go on to the Soul Society, possibly become a Soul Reaper as well.
I would love like a spin-off like Joey for Friends, but the previous lives of all the
Or
Soul
like
Reapers.
a 5Ds where it goes like way into the future, you know, like after everybody's already dead. But they're still kicking it because now they're just Soul Reapers.
That would be kind of cool.
That's kind of
It's
sick.
like they're dead in the real world. Like, oh, Ichigo Kurosaki passed. And he's like, hey, what up? It's like Soul Reaper now. Gang, gang.
So Ichigo has Soul Reaper powers now.
Mhm.
Does that mean he gets even more powerful once he becomes a
I don't know if there is
soul?
a boost in power when he does that. I don't know if that relates. But he can definitely just become a Soul Reaper again.
Well,
Yeah.
isn't it just his soul that becomes the Soul Reaper? So that's what the whole thing is. He kicks himself
Yeah.
out of his body. So
Yeah,
it's
I
his soul.
think you're right then. Yeah.
So it's the soul that becomes a Soul Reaper.
So if he-
Yeah. So I don't think there would be any sort of power increase with him dying. I don't think he would get. He's not saying.
Hey, don't say that because you
All
know
right.
damn well.
yeah, exactly.
Then we get to see the Hitsugaya squad. Ikaku, Yumichika, Rangiku, and then, of course, Hitsugaya, if you need to know that as well. They're all in a forest somewhere. They're kind of trying to, I don't know if they're training, but they're talking to their swords is what they say, where they're like trying to communicate with their
trying to
sword
get
spirit.
powerful and stuff.
And that's when the sky opens up above them, and we see the true gang come through. Yammy, Grimmjow, Wanderweiss, and Lupi. They
I
all
fucking
appear.
hate that bitch.
We hear the sick violin music start to play.
I love
and,
that.
That's where we basically kick off. Grimmjow quickly looks down, and everybody else is kind of happy. It's like, oh, good spot to come out. Like a lot of strong people right there. Grimmjow's like, yeah, the guy I want to kill is in there, and takes off.
Yeah, I remember
Nice.
that. He dips
he's
out.
like, that's a waste of time. And as he's leaving, this I think this might be the first time they show it. We get to see the scar on his back, where the number
where the
6
6
used to
was.
be.
Is
So-
it Lupe or Lupi?
Lupi took his spot.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I hate it. He's a fucking
Yeah,
Lupi.
he's
Yeah.
an idiot.
So Lupi sees him leaving. He's like, oh, well, don't worry about him. He's not even in his spot anymore. And just like, lets him go. Yeah. Yami looks down, and he too says that the guy he wants to kill isn't down there as well.
He's referring to Urahara, right?
He wants to kill Ichigo as well because he cut off his arm.
Oh, that was Ichigo who could
Yeah.
Oh, could you imagine? 10 seconds. Oh, God, I got my fucking... Oh, why is everyone dead?
Yeah.
Hey, bro, this is the armless gang.
Yeah. So Yami, being the team player he is, he's like, fuck it. He heads down, and he immediately clashes with Hitsugaya. That's who he picks. Then we see the R&D department back in Soul Society. They're getting the reading that the Espada... I think they call them Espada at this point, that they've arrived. They're going to send out alerts all around, and they basically tell everybody. It's like, hey, Espada's shown up. Ding, 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 ding. And they didn't say... I just want to pause here. They didn't say an Espada and an Arankar,
Oh.
so Lupi can eat shit. Okay?
Oh,
because
yeah, that's
they gave
true.
the call
That's
straight
very
around
true.
for
But-
Espadas.
Let's just be real. The Hogyoku Awakening is the only thing Soul Society has gotten right this entire
Yeah.
fucking time.
Also, they didn't mention Wanderweiss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
And-
So maybe it's like the Spanish language, you know, where once you hit over, use the he pronoun.
Yeah, he uses everything.
So it's
yeah.
like once you have an even amount of Espada, they're just all Espada at that point.
Ah.
So yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I would also say I bet they haven't released Gete Kaijo.
I think they do mention it's like, yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and clear that.
Yeah,
So
they're like,
they don't show them releasing it, but I think at this point they're just like, yeah, we release it.
they
Go
need
ahead.
to. They need to. You know.
They need like that one guy in like that rogue cop movie that's like, this guy's actually doing good for the
Yeah.
force, and then he slams the button and gets fired for doing the right thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
Central 46
You're
can
out of
go
your
suck a
damn
dick.
mind. Get him out of here.
Yeah, Central 46 can go suck a dick for the most part.
Kill him again. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I mean,
Thank you.
Aizen did
That's
it.
what
How
I-
do they
that's
feel
what I
those
was saying.
I can
Yeah.
guarantee you. Oh, the one captain we haven't captured has
Yeah.
decided to kill all of us previously. Yeah, you know, I don't really want to get hired for this job.
Yeah. So Yumi, Chika, and Ikaku, they get to pair up with Lupi. They're taking on Lupi. Wanderweiss watches some birds while Rangiku just kind of stares awkwardly like, do I attack you? It's like, what's the game plan here? So then we see Ichigo. He wants to leave from training with the Visors because he too senses that the Espada have shown up. And he's kind of being held down by a couple of the Visors. We're like, nah, it's like, you need to stay here, dog.
Yeah.
It's like, there's the whole reason Hitsugaya's squad is there is for this. It's like,
Yeah.
chill. But then Shinji shows up. It's like, hey, just let him go. It's like, if he wants to go, fucking let him go. And so Ichigo takes off. Rukia gets the alert because she's in Soul Society, and obviously she still knows the area. So they're like, yeah, better tell fucking Rukia. She goes to head off to the real world. She's saying, so it's kind of weird how Rukia has become kind of like the thinker of the group because Ishida's out of the picture.
Oh, that's
Because
true.
she's
The
kind of the one
brains.
going like, it just doesn't make sense as to why they're moving already. Like she's trying to put together the pieces. And we cut back to Ichigo, who immediately runs into Grimmjow, like almost walked out the fucking door into the sky. He's like, "Oh, hey, what's up, dude?"
Oh, that's great, because then all the fucking visors are right there.
Yeah. So he
Fuck
does
him
go Bankai immediately.
Oh,
And
fine.
great.
if we remember, someone had previously said Bankais are only supposed to be used as last resort, supposedly.
Who
But
the fuck?
Ichigo's just popping them left and right.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Ichigo then is like, he's like, "Hey, I have a question for you." He's like, "What happened to that arm of yours?"
Ew.
And Grimmjow has a great line. He's like, I got rid of it because I only need one arm to kill you." Great. Grimmjow's so good, dude.
Best character.
They had a couple of really good bants in their fight, like just shit talking each other.
Nothing like a fucking spicy Arankar and a fucking 16-year-old dude.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. So Ichigo at that point is like, "Well, I guess I don't need to hold back." And then he summons his hollow mask. And he immediately
thinks
thinks
he's
to
cool.
himself, "I can only use it for 11 seconds tops." That's what he says. So now we cut to Renji and Chad because everybody wants to know what are they doing?
What are the
during
boys
this?
doing?
Yeah. They're both kind of arguing over who is going to go help out. Renji's telling Chad, like, "No, you need to stay here." Chad's like, "No, I need to go help."
No, we're both going to
lads.
lose.
Yeah.
Which one of us wants to lose?
Yeah.
Which one wants to get their ass
It really
beat
is
this
both
time?
of the characters that lose every fight. It's like, oh, who's going to go out there? Oh, God.
Wonder if they like joined teams at one point, they would actually have a
They
chance.
make one decent fighter together.
Hold my sword while I release
Yeah.
it.
Oh, that would be so cool.
I'm gonna swing you around.
So they're arguing, and Urahara steps in at this point. He's like, "Listen, you both are too exhausted to be fighting at this point. So how about I go instead?"
Oh,
And,
the lad.
oh, baby. It's like, it's going to be. And that was the end of the first episode right there. That's how they end it. Urahara's
Oh.
like, "I'll go."
Could you
It's
imagine
like,
if this is when we
damn.
started seeing actual Urahara fight?
Yeah, I know. I
That would
know.
have been great.
Next episode, we see Ichigo is officially in his hollow mask, of course, and Grimmjow looks stunned by this. He's like, "Oh, what is that? Like, I don't get it."
Hello?
Ichigo's like, "Sorry, I don't have time to explain it to you because you only got 11 seconds."
Yep.
Teleports over to him. They clash blades, and then Ichigo does the close range Getsuga Tensho as they clash blades. He does the Ichigo move.
Laddie boy.
He's actually learning.
Oh, thank
Still
God.
doesn't swing it around though.
No, he does not. He never does that.
I can't wait till the episode you actually find out he does it.
Well, he does actually do the swinging thing. He did the swinging thing when we saved Rukia originally. He was standing on
Oh,
top
yeah,
of the
and
execution thing
swung
and
it.
swung it. Yeah.
Ooh, oh, that's right. Okay.
So we see Ikaku and Yumachika, their fight. This time, he's letting Yumachika take the fight. So
Oh,
normally it's been
interesting,
Kaku, but this time it's Yumachika. Lupi basically turns to Yammy, and he's like, "Hey, let me have that when you're fighting too. These guys are too boring. Like, what are you
Aw.
doing?" And he's like, "I'll just release my Zanpakuto, and then I'll just take them all out." I was like, "It's a waste of time." Hitsugaya sees that he's about to release his Zanpakuto, which smart by him, and he charges Lupi. He was like, "No, I'm not going to let you do that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Like, fuck that."
Wait, can you remind me?
Sure.
Lupi's dub voice is very pompous, right?
Yeah, kind of a
Like
little
rich kid?
mixture of yes,
Okay.
like a
Oh,
whiny,
no.
snotty rich
Yeah.
kid.
Okay.
That's exactly. I was gonna say a mixture of whiny and pompous, but yeah, you nailed it.
So
Yeah,
like
okay.
his parents are lawyers and
Yeah,
they'll sue
yeah,
you?
like he's a bitch.
Ugh.
So Hitsugaya charges him, goes Bankai in an attempt to stop him, but then Lupi just goes full release and attacks Hitsugaya. Hitsugaya blocks like one of if you remember, I'm gonna spoil his release form here. You literally find out 30 seconds later. He just basically gets like 8 tentacles
an
that comes off
octopus,
his
right?
back.
Yeah.
And he can like
Oh.
control them and change them into like spikes or like a spear and just like So he
Wow.
tried to hit him with like a point end, and he blocks it with one of his wings. And Lupi is like, "Oh, if you think that attack you're able to block right now saved you, would you be able to stop it if it were 8 times stronger?" And then the
Oh.
smoke clears, and we see that he's got the 8 tentacles, like I was saying. And he attacks Hitsugaya with all of them, making Hitsugaya fall to the ground because he got fucked up.
Nice.
We see Rukia. She shows up in the real world and appears to Renji in the underground training area. And Rukia is immediately pissed off that Renji's not out there fighting. He's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "What are you still hanging out back here?"
He's not
and
a punching
he's like,
bag.
"Oh, it's okay. Kisuke went." And
Ayo.
then Rukia's like, "Oh." It's like,
Oh,
okay.
okay, let's sit down and have some tea.
We go back to Grimmjow, who is bleeding profusely after just that one attack from Ichigo. They fight some more, and at the rare occurrence here, Ichigo is manhandling the fuck out of Grimmjow with just the Hollow Mask on, just absolutely manhandling him. Until Grimmjow launches a Sero at Ichigo. Ichigo goes to block with a sword. He gets pushed back a little bit, eventually just cuts it in two. So
Yeah,
Ichigo's
yeah.
pretty fucking strong at this point. But that lets Grimmjow recover to let him like kind of get back up to where Ichigo was, and they begin fighting and kind of clashing blades again.
God, that is the slowest 11 seconds of my life.
I know.
Right.
They have a couple of lines they talk to while this fight's going on that I just skip over, and it's like it is way longer than 11 seconds. Ichigo's like, he says it's over, Grimmjow, and he pushes his sword back, like he shoots back Grimmjow, and then goes to finish him with his last attack, and we hear
And-
crack, and his fucking mask shatters. Grimmjow, like, doesn't skip a fucking beat. He immediately understands what that means, just goes like, "Huh, and then
Just
like
laughs and
goes
fucks
to
him.
fucking attack him, like slicing him across the chest.
Oy.
And this time, Grimmjow gets to return the word saying it's over, Soul Reaper, and we cut back to Lupi at that point.
Ugh.
Which, yeah, no one cares about fucking Lupi.
He's gonna die anyways.
I'm honestly
Spoilers.
curious. So when does Ishida come in? I'm really missing him.
Yeah, well, I know everybody's waiting for that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Lupi is taking on the 3 remaining Soul Reapers, so Ikkaku, Rangiku, and Yumichika, very easily. He's basically just spinning his tentacles around like a carousel, and they can't do shit.
Oh, you know what that move is? It's called the Hammond.
So Yammy is kind of just sitting there in the sky, and he's just watching, and he's like, man, I'm bored. Like, what am I supposed to do
Isn't
here?
he like laying? Is he standing or is he doing that lay down?
Yeah,
thing
he's
that he
laying.
does?
He's just
Okay.
having a good time. Wanderweiss is trying to catch a dragonfly,
Oh.
Oh.
which he eventually does, and he looks like he's about to eat it. Like, he's about to
Yeah,
eat it in his mouth.
he does.
God,
that
he's so
little-
pure.
Yeah, which all of a sudden he's like about to bite its head off, and then he perks up for a second, and then that's kind of all we get to see about that because we go back to Lupi. Everybody wants to see what Lupi's doing. He's now wrapped the 3 Soul Reapers up with their in the tentacles, and like any good anime where somebody has a tentacle, he starts to kind of make moves on Rangiku,
Yeah.
saying how beautiful her body is, yada yada, and then he makes one of his tentacles get like a spike end on the enemy. He's like, oh, I wonder how beautiful it would look if I was to stab you with this. And
Oh
so
God, so hot.
God.
he goes to
He just wants another
absolutely
hole.
impale Rangiku there, and then we see a red beam shoot out from nowhere, cutting the tentacle.
Benihime.
And it's
Benihime.
Urahara.
Yee.
Yeah. He's here. What up, yo? Then we cut back to the Soul Society, where Ukitake, because of the good guy that he is, if you remember, Orihime was also in Soul Society.
Yes.
Why isn't she coming? Because she couldn't go through the gate unless they stabilized it first, because she's not a Soul Reaper, because she's a human, yada yada.
Humans.
Ukitake went ahead and did that for her. He's
Oh.
like, hey,
Yeah.
he's like, I got you. It's like, I know you need to go back, so I'll sort it out.
Should have just left her there.
Dumb move.
She is accompanied immediately by 2 nobody Soul Reapers, because since she is a guest of the Soul Society now, they actually offer like bodyguard protection to come in and
Aw.
out.
Well,
They're
that's
like, hey,
cool.
it's like, listen, you're not invading us this time, so here's the proper way that we handle things.
That's pretty
It's
cool.
like, we'll escort you out, which was very nice. I was like, wow, that's really cool. So they're basically just running between. I think they go there to train Ichigo and his dad. Is where they train the little path in between the 2 worlds with the
Yeah.
container.
With the Senkai
Yeah.
or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And so they're running between the 2 worlds, and we hear, what's that? Only 2 guards. And then he follows up. The Soul Society incompetence never ceases to amaze me, and we get to see Ulquiorra pop out behind
Oh.
them.
Hmm.
And we cut back to Urahara.
They dead.
Yes,
Yeah, those guys are just fucked.
Oh, those laddies dead.
Urahara introduces himself as just the man who owns a small candy store in the neighborhood.
God.
And it says, nice to meet you. When all of a sudden, he's immediately attacked by Wanderweiss. Wanderweiss doesn't fucking skip a beat and like tries to attack
He just goes to
Urahara.
punch him, right?
So-
or is it tackle?
He goes like try to like slice his head off.
Oh,
almost,
yeah.
I'm honestly curious. It seems dumb of Aizen to just make Wanderweiss to kill off Captain Commander. Like,
Uh-huh.
would you think Urahara Kisuke was a bigger? I would almost
big
feel like
threat?
he's the bigger threat than Captain
Yeah.
Commander.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes and no. Captain Commander for his raw power, and then
So,
I
would
get
say-
Urahara for his smarts.
smarts wise, yes,
Yeah.
he's the bigger threat. But I think now that we've seen Urahara's Bankai, I think Captain Commander's Bankai is way more
better.
powerful.
Oh my god!
I would
Imagine
agree.
him releasing that
Yeah.
during that fight.
Way
Holy
more powerful.
shit!
But he wouldn't make. Do you think Aizen treated himself as Urahara's counter?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
probably.
definitely
I
did.
would say that's fair.
Because Aizen's just as smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Urahara kind of like blasts Wanderweiss away, and he turns to like Yammy. He's like, "Hey, don't take this the wrong way, but your friend seems to be a little odd."
Oh no!
And Wanderweiss starts charging something with his hand, like red sparks kind of start trying to come off his hand. Not a Sero.
Mm.
We come back to Ulquiorra,
Oh.
and
Of course.
Ulquiorra is like, "Yeah, it's not my nature to burst in like this, but I thought we should talk."
What a nice
The
guy.
Soul Reaper guarding Orihime immediately goes to attack Ulquiorra, just one of them. And he gets absolutely obliterated. Orihime tries to get him to stop. He's like, oh, he just wants to talk. Like, stop. And nope, too
Nope.
late.
Got steamrolled.
Orihime immediately doesn't waste any time and starts healing the one that just got fucked up. And she tells the other Soul Reaper to leave. She's like, please leave. It's like, fuck you. And then Ulquiorra fucks him up as well.
That's like the fucked up boyfriend shows up. Like,
Yeah.
hey babe, I just want to talk. Get out of here,
You know,
guys.
yeah.
He's gonna beat. Oh, he fucking killed both of you.
So he fucks up both of them. And then Orihime just like extends her cover for both of them, like, and just starts healing both of them at the same time, which is impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And Ulquiorra agrees because he's like, oh, that's quite an impressive ability you possess.
I
there.
want that.
And he's like, to heal wounds that deep. He says,
I want
come
that.
with me, girl. And he gives her very specific instructions here. Don't speak. I only want to hear yes. And if you don't, people will die. And I don't mean you. And then he makes 3 screens appear behind him showing like all the Soul Reapers in Ichigo.
Ew.
And he's like, no questions. You have no rights. The only thing you do have is the rope to the guillotine held above your friend's necks.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
line.
And he continues on saying, make no mistake, girl, this is not a negotiation. This is an order.
This is like the hottest sex scene I've ever heard. Holy shit.
Josh, please direct it.
Wow.
Yeah. And he does give a little bit more. We're coming to the very end of this second episode here. He says, for some reason, Lord Aizen has decided he wants your power. He dispatched me here to bring you unharmed. I'll say this one more time. Come with me, little girl. And then that's the end of that episode.
Oh.
So it's left in limbo there.
All right, Sam. So Otaku gets big. We have our anime department. We have a manga department.
Sure.
Yes, I will.
Josh
do
is
it.
in charge of the hentai department. I will do it. Hentai slash
Send me in, kiddos.
cosplay porn.
Oh,
Yes.
cosplay porn. Nice. I didn't know we were going to have that department.
Nice.
It's under Josh's.
Make sure you tag
yeah.
Jessica Negri in this. Might be a little older by the time we're famous, but it'd still be good.
Okay, next episode, we see Urahara. He gets attacked. He gets pushed back by whatever Wanderweiss was charging in his hand. And Urahara is actually caught off guard by this. He's like, what was that? It's like he's never seen that attack before. He's like, what was that attack just now? That was a first for me. And then we see a red explosion hit Urahara in his fucking back. And Urahara starts to fall to the ground, and that's when we see Yammy is laughing behind him because he just fucking shot him in the back as well.
Fucking
And
Yammy.
He laughs like, let me tell you what it is. It's a bala.
Oh, so Wanderweiss knows how to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought they did that earlier.
No.
I don't
so
think he does
a bala
it.
is a projectile spiritual energy. It's not as strong as a Sero, but it's 20 times faster.
Oh, that's
and then
right.
Yammy begins to fire about 50 balas down where Urahara was
I
landing.
like the
Just
noise
starts
it makes too. It's like boom.
Yeah, just go
bonk,
boom, boom,
bonk.
boom, 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 boom. It's like,
I could
okay.
have sworn that was when they first met.
No,
I didn't realize
this
it was
one-
this
yeah.
You know
time.
what a bala
wow.
means in Spanish?
No.
It means shot, like a bullet shot.
Okay.
Oh.
Nice. So Lupi goes back to trying to kill Rangiku because she got caught again off camera sometime. We don't even get to see her
Oh.
get caught again. He just has her back in the tentacle.
A cue music.
Yep, and he is gloating how he's like, oh, I hold your life in my hands. And then we see 4 of his tentacles suddenly become completely frozen, and it's your boy Hitsugaya back from the fucking grave.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
And we get to hear a little bit
foreshadowing?
about... Yeah. We get to hear a little bit about Hitsugaya's power here, which he makes it sound very OP. He says Hyorinmaru's power
Hyorinmaru?
is without limit. It will always reform as long as there is water around. It can be reborn a countless number of times. And then he goes, you can't win now. I've had too much time to prepare. Fact of the matter is your resources are limited and finite. Your weapon is 8 arms. My weapon is all the water in the atmosphere.
I remember
Jesus,
this.
yeah.
Yep.
Why do I remember everything about Lupe so much?
Yeah, I don't know.
Fucking
you love
hate this
Spirit
guy.
animal.
And then so as he's kind of giving his speech, he's creating a bunch of like giant ice pillars all around. And then he says Sinin Hyoro and turns his blade, and then all of the pillars come together and kind of basically just fucking
Yeah.
squeeze Lupi.
God, that's hot.
Yammy sees this happen, and he immediately calls Lupi a moron and says, if you underestimate your enemy, you deserve to lose. And then he starts to yell, hurry up, and then we see Urahara appear behind him.
Nani?
And he finishes the sentence saying, Lord Aizen will be mad.
I
Yammy's
love
like,
Urahara. He's just a funny guy.
yeah, Yami's like, how? And Urahara's, well, I'm wondering that myself. And Yammy tries to fire another ball at him, which hits him directly. And Yami's like, fucking idiot. It's like,
Yeah.
fucking nailed you again.
LOL.
But then we see Urahara appear behind Yammy, this time with his sword at his throat. And Urahara's like, yeah, listen, I know that attack. I can't be hit by it anymore, dude. So he says, you find this puzzling, don't you? And then he fires his red beam point blank at Yammy. So he does Benihime right at fucking Yammy, like when he has him really close. And Urahara says, in your attacks, you felt all of them connect, so you're wondering how I'm still alive. And he says, the answer's right here, and pulls out a black ball.
Oh,
and
I
then
remember.
Begins to inflate it, and it's a portable gi guy. And Yami's like, what are you talking about, a portable gi guy? I've never fucking heard of that in my life. And Urahara's like,
no.
I haven't told anybody I created it. He said, it's frankly really hard to use and get it to work the way you want it to, so he doesn't think anybody except for him could actually use it.
Oh, what a
But,
guy.
Makes
you know,
sense. Makes sense.
Yammy goes to attack him again, but Urahara is like, you don't get it? It's like, I can't be hit. It's like, I've already told you.
Doesn't he like kind of tip his head down?
So he stops Yami's punch with just the tip of his sword.
Ooh.
And he's like, yeah, listen, earlier I analyzed the reishi structure of your technique. I even analyzed the way your muscles move when you fire it.
Okay.
So as long as I have determined these 2 things, I can dodge it, and I can even match your timing to cancel the move out completely.
So all we got to do is wear baggy clothes. He'll never be able to tell.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good point.
So then we cut back to Ichigo, who is now on the ground panting in front of fucking Grimmjow because he's fucked. He tries to summon the Hollow Mask again, but it kind of just quickly fades away. At that point, Grimmjow kicks him right in the fucking chest.
Yeah.
Then Grimmjow teleports swords in and stabs his sword through both of his fucking hands.
Oh, I do remember that because he's like laying like this, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then Grimmjow starts to charge a point blank Sero pointed at Ichigo's face.
do it.
And then we see his hands start to freeze, and it's any guesses? Rukia. It is Rukia. And she's here to save the day, apparently.
No fucking way.
Just stab her through the chest again.
Yeah, so Grimmjow kind of turns around as Rukia is doing this, her Sugi no Mai, where she like shoots it forward.
Oh, yeah.
And then she shoots the beam of ice, and it completely freezes Grimmjow, just gets him frozen in a block of ice. Rukia immediately runs to Ichigo to try to get the sword out of his arm, but she's having trouble doing it because of how hard he stabbed it inside of his hand. She's like cannot get it out of there. And just then, as she's crouched down trying to get the sword out of Ichigo's hand, Grimmjow's hand breaks free and grabs her by the fucking head.
Yeah.
Calls her an idiot and then begins charging a arrow again. Goes for round 2, this time on Rukia.
On her face?
Yes.
Yeah, he's got her like this.
Then we see a yellow beam, this time fly out, hitting Grimmjow's hand, stopping him. Both Rukia and Ichigo have no fucking idea who this is. Like, oh, it's like, I thought we were dead. It's like, I don't know who this is.
That's the Lord and Savior.
And then we hear Shinji. And he's like, I just detest having to interfere in another Soul Reaper's fight, but...
You were about to die, so...
Yeah, Grimmjow pulls his sword out from Ichigo's hands at this point and goes to attack Shinji.
He is the king.
We see kind of like 3 explosions pop up like around the town as they're fighting. And now Shinji's in the sky. He looks really annoyed, you know. And he's like, man, if I have to, every time I dodge your attack, you destroy a building, it's like, it's really annoying. It's like, what are you doing? Grimmjow charges Shinji, and then Shinji just dons his hollow mask. And we get the sweet Shinji music here. The moment he puts the mask on. Yeah, that was really good, Jose. That was really good. Shinji basically manhandles Grimmjow here. They clash swords a lot, but he kind of just keeps pushing Grimmjow back. And Shinji starts charging up his own red beam at this point.
Oh,
he's like,
yeah, he can do it.
Yeah, he's like, sorry, Aranka, you're pretty strong, so I'm not going to hold back. And then launches a fucking Sero at Grimmjow, sending Grimmjow fucking plummeting to the ground. Which I did not remember Shinji could do Sero.
I remember he could use it, but I didn't remember like to what extent.
Yeah, he fucks him up because Grimmjow's on the ground and Shinji basically lands next to him at this point. Yeah. But Shinji is like, wow, is like you countered that with your own Sero just before to reduce the damage. That's pretty good. So Grimmjow's a thinker. He's not just all like a piece of shit. Grimmjow goes to attack Shinji, and this time he's saying he's going to release his Zanpakuto. That's when Ulquiorra shows up and stops Grimmjow, and it's like, hey, mission completed, time to leave.
No!
And that's when we see the yellow beam shoot down from the sky, the classic Aizen exit, and envelop Grimmjow and Ulquiorra.
Wait. Soul Reaper.
So we cut to the other Espadas, and they're all getting yellow beamed as well. Even Lupi, who was crushed in the ice, you see he's fine. He tells Hitsugaya to remember his face, for he will be seeing him again, and he'll kill him. And then Yammy pretty much says the same thing to Urahara. But I don't think either of those people meet either of them again. I think, well, for sure not Lupi. Yammy, I don't think runs into Urahara ever again.
No, because he stays in Las Noches.
So Urahara watches them leave, and then he's like, I should have known. And I'm not entirely sure what he's referring to this at this point, but I assume he just figured like, oh, they have another mission. That's why they're leaving. Like they weren't just here to fight.
It was a distraction the whole time.
They're aware that Aizen's controlling the...
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they've known that since day one, that Aizen was behind that. As Ulquiorra and Grimmjow go to leave, we get Ulquiorra's inner thoughts here while kind of like looking down at Ichigo. And he thinks himself that there are traces of spiritual pressure in it. So it seems that he's gained a new power, but Ulquiorra's still like, is that the best he could do? It's like, if it's over, then you just don't have any means to fight anymore. And then they leave. We see Orihime. She's been left alone in the path connecting the two worlds, and she's just continuing to heal the 2 injured Soul Reapers back to full. We go to the next episode, and we see Orihime. She's in her apartment, and she's leaving notes on how to do the chores around the house for Rangiku and Hitsugaya.
Oh, rip.
Because she's getting ready to leave. We see she is wearing a silver bracelet. It's the one that was given to her by Ulquiorra.
No one can see her, right?
Okay, so no one can see her, and what else can she do? There's one more ability she gets off of this bracelet.
Like she can walk through walls and stuff, right?
Yeah, she can walk through walls.
That's a sick-ass fucking bracelet, dude. If we found it in D&D, game over.
So we get the flashback here to Ulquiorra explaining that, and he says, listen, you must never take it off, and while wearing it, a special type of spiritual barrier will surround you, and you will be invisible to the outside world. Only we Arankars will be able to sense your presence. And then he goes, you'll find you have one more ability. While you have it on, you'll be able to pass through any physical object that exists in your world. He says you have 12 hours and then gives her permission to say goodbye to one person in that time. But he does give an asterisk to that. If that one person figures out what you are doing, then you will have disobeyed my orders, and then tells her to meet at the designated area at midnight.
Aww.
We cut to Hitsugaya squad. They are back with Urahara in the underground training area, kind of after the fight. Hitsugaya is kind of watching Urahara, and he's kind of noting it's like, oh, Urahara's been very quiet since the fight, and he's wondering what he's thinking exactly. Like, what is Urahara like? Yes, he's a smart guy. What does he got to say? Hitsugaya asks Rangiku if she's had any luck trying to contact the Soul Society yet, but for some reason they can't get through to the Soul Society. Orihime goes to her classroom and kind of like stares at Ichigo's desk like a creep. And that's when Keigo and the other friend, I think his name is like Mizuri, shows up. Orihime goes
the one
to
that's
hide.
always on his phone, right?
Yeah. Orihime goes to hide because she still has not realized she's fucking invisible. But she knocks over Ichigo's chair. She goes to run. The two guys actually notice that Ichigo's chair is falling over. And that's when they kind of started talking. Keigo's like, isn't it weird that like the four, Chad, Ichigo, Orihime, and Ishida, they're always missing together? It's like, and Keigo, of course, like, they must be doing something about us. It's like, but the other friend, he's like, oh, don't get upset. And this was really sad. He goes, after all, it's like, we're not the only ones being left out. And Keigo's like who? Like
Tatsuki.
Tatsuki.
Oh, I forgot about it for a split second.
That makes Orihime feel really bad because she obviously hears that because she's in the classroom. So she goes to see Tatsuki, who is just getting done with like her martial arts training. And just as she goes to kind of like say goodbye to Tatsuki, like she's like, oh, I'm going to pick her for my person I say goodbye to. A soccer ball flies through her head like somebody was playing soccer and just kicked it and went right through her fucking dome. And then she's reminded she can only say goodbye to one person and then just leaves. So she's like, nope, actually not Tatsuki.
Tatsuki's not her lover.
Happen. Yeah. We see Rukia, who is trying to call Orihime in the Soul Society because that's obviously where she thinks she is, but she can't get through the Soul Society. Rukia is currently staying in Ichigo's room because Ichigo looks fucked up and is wrapped in bandages. We flash back here to, we see he was brought to Hachi to be healed because very similar powers to Orihime. But he does explain, he says, sorry, but my ability is more of a type of time reversal. In order to use my technique most effectively, I must have precise knowledge of what conditions to reverse. Right now, Ichigo's spirit energy has been intermingled with the spirit energy absorbed through the Urankar's attacks. Yeah, there's more.
That's just a really long way of saying your insurance doesn't cover this.
Yeah.
Yep.
He says in his current condition, this is the best that he could do to kind of like bandage him up and set him on his way.
Clear up his wounds and everything.
He says in order to get him through this as quickly as possible, he must be isolated. It's important that he be separated from beings like us, as in the Visors, because we all have spirit energy that is very similar to that of the Hollows, and it'll slow down the recovery. Thus, his advice is to take him home, let him recover there. That's the fastest way. Rukia is kind of thinking about that some more, but eventually decides that since he goes home, he's safe now, and she should go and check on Orihime because she's left in the Soul Society. She goes to leave, but immediately runs into both of Ichigo's sisters, who were outside the door. They were kind of like debating going in and sitting with Ichigo, and seeing if he's okay. They, of course, persuade Rukia into not going to check on Orihime because they don't know that's where she's going, which is like, oh, please stay, have dinner, whatever. And then they all kind of eat dinner inside of Ichigo's room. Rukia later that night goes down to clean the dishes, and then she tries to leave again, but this time she runs into Isshin, which is Ichigo's dad.
Yeah.
The story that was told to Isshin was that Ichigo got beat up by a bunch of bullies from another school, and Rukia apologized like, oh, it's my fault that he got involved with those delinquents. But Isshin just being a fucking good guy, as always, and kind of knowing, like, because he knows.
He knows.
He is like, oh, what are you talking about? It's like that kid is old enough to know better, and he's just glad that she's okay.
I like Isshin so much.
Yeah, so Rukia goes to leave, and Isshin's like, hey, is like, if you're going somewhere tonight, be safe and make sure you, like, bundle up because it's cold. And then Rukia heads out. Orihime then appears into Ichigo's room. She comes in through the fucking window because she can phase through shit.
Does she can fly too?
I don't know how she got up there, but she came in through the window, let me tell you.
Woo!
Crawled up on something and jumped through.
Yeah. Orihime says she's decided to say goodbye to Ichigo, even though there were a lot of other people she wanted to say goodbye to, but she would get in trouble if she did say goodbye to everybody else, so she just chose him.
Aww, kawaii.
Orihime then realized that this is Ichigo's bedroom and gets a little embarrassed because it's the first time she's ever been to Ichigo's bedroom.
I thought she'd been there before,
but it doesn't.
Chad and everyone.
I don't think she's ever been in Ichigo's bedroom. It does not stop her at this point of her having the realization of commenting how it smells like him. I think the direct quote was, "It has your scent."
Oh,
fucking creep. So she then reaches down at this point, and she does notice, by the way, that both of his little sisters are sleeping in the room as well, because they're like, they just wanted to stay close to Ichigo, so they're on the ground sleeping next to Ichigo.
If they weren't in there, who knows what she might have done.
Dude, seriously, it doesn't stop her from being a fucking perv, because then she reaches down, she holds Ichigo's hand, and we get the creme de la creme of creep scenes here, where she starts slowly raising her head down towards Ichigo to try to kiss him. And then we get like a nice kind of flashback montage of all the times that Ichigo and Orihime were together throughout the series. Like even going back to the first few episodes, we see like what Orihime used to look like.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Orihime then starts to cry. Her tears drop onto Ichigo's face. And then we get a long paragraph here where she says the truth is that she can't bring herself to do it. She's so ashamed of herself. It's her last moment with Ichigo, and she's trying to cut herself off. When I think about it, there are so many things I wanted to do. I wanted to be a school teacher, an astronaut, a baker. I wanted to go to a bunch of donut shops and ask for one of everything.
Yes.
I even wanted to go to an ice cream truck and ask for one of everything as well.
Also, yes.
She wishes she could have had 5 different lives so she could have 5 different careers. But each one of those lives, she would have fallen in love with the same person 5 different times.
Ichigo.
While staring at Ichigo, and then says, "Thank you, Ichigo. Goodbye."
Starts crying.
And
I
good
guess-
riddance is all I could say. Good riddance. Take her out.
The creep.
The creep.
See, I could have sworn she's like.
Do you think if the sisters weren't there, she would have straddled him?
I have no fucking idea. She's
I
a
don't-
creep.
Yeah. Well, I think she's just hormonal at 17 or whatever.
She's
but
like 16 years old. She's the same age as
I could have
Ichigo.
sworn she was gonna say, "Hey, I just got selected to be a part of a movie. It's called 50 Shades of Ulquiorra, and I'm really looking
I
forward
found someone
to it."
better. Later, bitch.
Later.
So to end this episode, we do get a slow zoom on the notepad that she left at her house. And I don't know the meaning behind this, but it's on the bottom right corner of her notepad. It says, "Goodbye, halcyon days." I don't know if that means anything or what significance that has, but that's how the episode ends.
Okay.
We see Ichigo awake from his slumber in the next episode. He immediately takes his bandages off to check and see if his hand still has a fucking hole in it, but it's healed. Good as new.
God.
He wonders who did this, but then Hitsugaya immediately shows up and says, it was probably Orihime. Ichigo, Kurosaki, please come with me. It's an emergency. They go to Orihime's house because that's where they set up like the fucking Skype TV so they can talk to the Soul Society. Everybody's there, like Hitsugaya's gang, Rukia, Renji, and obviously now Ichigo. They get in contact with Ukitake, who says that since he was the last person who saw Orihime, allow him to explain. He explains that 2 guards came with Orihime through the Senkaimon, and according to them, it's highly likely that Orihime has either been killed or abducted by the Urahara, so they don't know. It could be either or at this point. Rukia kind of gets a little upset and is like, surely you're just jumping to conclusions at this point. And Ukitake explains that he believes that Orihime was attacked by an Urahara and then disappeared with him. Ichigo refuses to believe that she might be dead or disappeared at this point because he goes to show his right hand and says that, look at his wound. It's been completely healed. It has to have been Orihime, and there's even still traces of Orihime's spiritual pressure on his wrist.
Oh, it smells
He
like her.
cares.
At that point, I believe they call him the head captain, is what they refer to Captain Commander as. The head captain appears and says, well, that is most unfortunate, because if she had been abducted, she would not have been able to have the time to visit you while you slept.
Oh,
The fact that Orihime had healed your wounds before disappearing means that she had to volunteer to go with the Urahara of her own free will.
Yeah, I remember him saying that.
Ichigo gets mad and like starts wanting to try to fight with Captain Commander, but Renji stops him here. And Renji, being a good fucking guy here, is like, hey, listen, don't make things worse. And Renji steps forward. He's like, listen, as a member of the advanced troops and as the lieutenant of Squad 6, I personally will head over to Hueco Mundo to bring the traitor Orihime back to her senses.
Oh.
Yeah.
Captain Commander immediately shuts that shit down and is like, nah, that's not happening. He says with his new info that they now know that the Urahara are ready for battle, therefore all the members of the advanced troop are now to return immediately and defend the Soul Society. Rukia asks if that means that Orihime is to be abandoned by them. And he's like, yeah. It's like exactly what that means. They can't risk the safety of the whole world to go chasing after one simple human, which is totally fucking fair. Honestly,
Yeah, I believe it.
let her rot.
How many shonen have you guys watched where that is the actual premise, and you're
It's
just
just
like,
the whole premise.
Yeah.
we're just getting over it, man?
Yeah.
Give us something else.
So Rukia says, sorry, head captain. Unfortunately, I cannot follow that order. And Yamamoto's like, yeah, unfortunate indeed. I thought this might happen, so I'm glad I had prepared for that.
Byakuya.
He sends Byakuya and Kinpachi. He sends both of them.
to pick up Yamichika and...
He sends them both, and they've been ordered to take them back by force if necessary.
Oh, fuck.
Start talking shit right now, boys.
Yeah. So Ichigo kind of accepts his losses at that point. He's like, all right, then. He's like, in that case, I'm not going to ask Soul Society for help to get Orihime back, but the least you can do is tell me how to get to Hueco Mundo. She's still my friend, so I'll go save her myself. Head captain immediately shuts that shit down again.
Yup.
And he's like, you must not. We're going to need your help in the upcoming battle, Kurosaki. I will not allow you to plot your own course of action and die for nothing. Stand by until you receive orders and then disconnects.
Damn, he straight up dropped the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we obviously know Captain Commander knows that they have to, like, help Orihime. Like, he
Yeah.
doesn't want Orihime
Yeah.
dying. So, do you think he could have gone about this a better way, though? Because I feel like
he's playing it the safe route, though. It makes no sense to waste. It says send some of your best guys out to save one girl.
But he
has all of Soul Society to protect.
I know.
I know. That's his job.
But you know damn right he wants to go save her, too.
Yeah, he would love to. I'm sure if the time
anything, he could go.
He probably could. Do you think Captain Commander could take all of the Espada and Aizen by himself?
I was going to ask earlier.
No,
if
not
Urahara
Aizen.
Could, and I was thinking the
Urahara, I would give a hell no.
The ones that showed up.
Captain Commander could possibly do it by brute force.
Sam, pick your
burn all of Hueco Mundo.
Pick your team to send.
How many people do I get?
You get 5.
Listen, I only need 3. All right.
I was gonna say 3.
3.
I only need 3.
You got Captain Commander.
Urahara.
Okay. Well, no. So can I pick anybody, even if they've died?
Are you gonna fucking pick Yua? That's not cool.
No,
Well,
Yua's
no.
not even there yet.
People we've met up till now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I'll let you.
Karya.
He did it. He's finally in Las Noches.
He's part of it.
I'm taking him. We'll be really cool. We'll have fun.
So it's Sam plus 3, or Sam is.
It could
one
be
of the
Sam
3?
plus 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. So me, Karya. Who would mix well with me and Karya? I feel like Byakuya would be a lot of fun, but I don't think
I feel like he'd be annoyed with you guys.
You would be the one making jokes the whole time, and Kari and Byakuya are like, "What the literal fuck?"
It's like, guys, you might as well talk while we're walking in the desert, okay? It's like
you just see like, who brought Sam?
You know how I feel every fucking day of my life.
I'm not picking Byakuya. If I'm going pure force, like if we're going strike team, like we're taking out Osama bin Laden, I'm taking Captain Commander. I'm taking Karya still, obviously, and then I'm probably taking Yoruichi.
Oh yeah, she's powerful as fuck.
If I'm going
what
fucking,
is her thing again?
She's she was what, like the second squad captain almost.
But
like
what's her
she's,
bankai? I can't remember.
She doesn't have a bankai.
she has a form though where she goes like lightning cat
Yeah.
form
Oh,
in the
yeah.
final arc, and she becomes super OP.
No, that
So
thing
like
was
if
fucking
I'm
badass.
taking like my team that I have right now, we could probably be super stealth. If we're going in,
I'm sorry.
so
super
it's
stealth.
D&D.
Captain Commander is in there, and you're going super stealth.
like you know how you have like the one fighter that's not good at stealth. He's that guy.
That me?
But we would make up. We would make up with the rest of it.
What you're saying is,
Karya can completely hide his presence. Yorichi is the fucking captain of
She's
the
the
assassination
queen of
squad at
that,
one
yeah.
point.
you're literally sneaking in to drop a nuke.
Yes, that's exactly what we're
Drop
doing.
him.
We have a bomb.
It's like in the first Avengers. It's like they think they won. It's like, oh well, we got a Yamamoto.
Dude.
And then he just goes Bankai. It just,
someone draw that. Someone,
That would be good.
we can just do it. Oh
that's
my God.
basically my gameplay at that
I
point.
would love to see Aizen get fucking hulked
Yeah.
by Yamamoto. Just whack.
Aizen's like he defeats the three of us.
Soul
Me,
Reaper.
Karya, and Yorichi's got us down. He's like, this is who all you guys sent. It's like this clear's like, no. It's like we got a Yamamoto. and then,
You would be the one to
You
say
just
the
see
line,
him
wouldn't
come in.
and then behind him, he walks in and goes Bankai, tears the shirt. Just
you? Oh Lord.
like game over, bitch.
We should have done this.
It's like just go full Bankai. We're running. It's like,
Run, Sam, run,
Yeah,
run.
Well, yeah, fucking Aizen would turn around. Everyone's like, ah!
yeah.
Yoruichi's just dragging Sam behind.
Yeah, seriously,
Let's
someone
go.
would have to carry me. It's like,
Karya, he could fly.
yeah.
Damn, I was gonna say, you know who would be great against Aizen? I was gonna say Aizen.
Yeah,
The
you would be
future
great.
Aizen. Bring
Yeah.
future Aizen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's
But he
just
hasn't
trapped
died
in there.
yet.
He's like, hello there.
yeah.
Oh,
Hello there, young me.
I would love that.
That would be the top strike force. Would you guys take anybody different?
Definitely Captain Commander.
He's just so strong. Like we
Okay.
talked about last episode, his Bankai is insane.
Yeah, he's a fucking amazing.
I was gonna say, what about Chill Captain? I forgot about him.
Kiraku?
But he's.
But you,
I did not like his
His
Bankai.
Bankai is not great.
I did not like
it's
his
not
Isn't
meant
he
for
just
fighting.
like he shadow play? Like he gets. To
Yeah, he has a bunch of games. So like
Yeah.
his Bankai is, I think he has like
It's a-
4 or 5 different scenes, and it's like a
Yeah,
play.
it's legit
Yeah.
like
and
a play.
each scene is like a different thing is happening, and then at the very end, he basically just kills you.
Because what he does is he ends up inflicting every bit of damage ever.
Yeah,
onto
but
the
see,
one
like
person.
if that's happening at some point, Aizen could swap out, and then like I don't want to be on the receiving end of that.
That
Yeah,
would
so-
be fucked.
Yep.
That would, because it's too long of a Bankai.
Yeah, it's way too long. It's a whole setup.
Who else? Kapachi would have fun, but he's not Bankai yet, or Shikai. And I
Yeah, but
would-
he'd enjoy fighting everybody. I don't think he'd die.
See, but I don't know, like, because spoiler alert for what we're about to talk about at the end, they go straight into Hueco Mundo. Like, they
Yeah,
waste no time. So, but they're not in there for very long, and clearly both Byakuya and Kenpachi are very strong, because if you guys remember, they show up and defeat Yammy,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they
the
do.
two of them. So they're incredibly strong already.
Yeah.
Because it's not like so they must have had to train during that 1 month period. So I bet at the canon time right now, we don't know that they're that much stronger yet. But I would say at this point in time, like if you're picking a Byakuya or a Kenpachi, they're strong enough to take down Yammy.
I would no, but
and that's like number 0 Yammy.
Yeah. I don't know. I would all like knowing 1,000 Year Blood War arc. I would say Ukitake is kind of broken as fuck, but he kind of.
Yeah, but you got to deal with the coffin and shit.
Yeah.
It's coronavirus season.
Yeah.
Wear your mask, Ukitake.
That's not very stealthy, right?
Yeah, it is not very stealthy. You could go the not stealthy route. Then at that point, you would probably. I still feel like even with the not stealthy route, you wouldn't want to take Kenpachi because he's good for all of a fight.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because he lets
hurt
himself get hit too much.
He enjoys it.
If we're taking on the whole gang, you need somebody who's at least going to be smart and
Do you want
tactical about
Miuri?
it.
I hate Miuri.
Like, honestly, if you were going brute force, honestly, Captain Commander, his lieutenant,
Oh, yeah,
would
his
be a
I was
lieutenant
good
going to
would
one.
be
ask, how
amazing,
broken is he? Because
If-
I don't remember
His Bankai is
Yeah, if we're
amazing.
just going brute force, the two of them would be really good. Then you'd have to fill it out with someone else who also has a really good AoE
Why
kind
don't
of
we
thing,
just,
which
throw
might
in-
be Byakuya.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think Byakuya would be the
What's
safe bet on that.
Komamoru?
Komamoru? But
Nah, his sucks.
Because
His
if
sucks.
his familiar thing
No,
takes damage, he
you
takes damage.
You have him come in. Everyone's like, "Oh, yo, what the fuck is this big guy?" They
He
go
wouldn't
in,
last a few
Yeah.
seconds.
and no, but
he would
that's
get
all they need.
zeroed up the ass.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, actually, he gets hit
but-
by one Sero.
Yeah,
he's
he
fucked.
sucks.
But it'd be funny though. He picks Captain Commander up. He's like, "You're fucked," and just launches him at the castle.
Yeah.
In his dying breath, he's yeeted them.
Yeah.
But
Would
then-
you take
then
any of
just
the
waste it.
visors in your strike team?
No, they're useless.
No, 'cause, I mean they get
Like Shinji
wrecked.
could potentially, like for everybody else except for Aizen, Shinji would be a great pick.
Yeah, but
If you're doing Strike Force, you get Yoruichi, Shinji, because Kari is fucking
I'm
useless.
talking when I say strike force, it doesn't necessarily have to be stealth. I'm talking you're going into wipeout, like extermination force. You're wiping out fucking everybody that's in Las Noches.
I feel like Mayuri would be pretty
Dude,
fun for that.
I would say Shinji and Captain Commander
so too.
Yeah.
would be broken as fuck because before they could figure out how everything's
Yeah.
backwards, he's already killed them.
Yeah.
Like Captain Commander just fucking ends that shit. So I
It,
think
it
Shinji
would be a
bonkers.
good synergy team to take Captain Commander, Chill Captain, and Ukitake.
Oh,
The three of them
Yeah.
together because they know each other.
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
know
And
each
then you're
other
just like
pretty
along
well.
for the ride.
You're just like,
Yeah.
holy shit!
It's like
you see
you
that?
just like bonk one over the head. And it's like, yeah.
I would
I
adore
got
that
number
episode.
99, guys. I got number 99.
Yeah.
You guys, good job.
It's like when you're being power boosted in MMO by your friends. And you're just like in the XP. It's like, yeah.
Along that way, though, you have to convince him not
It's
to
like,
kill
oh,
Nell.
quick, you need to do 5% of the HP to get the XP. Okay, hold on.
I would crack up because they were talking and like super serious, the three of them, and then Sam's like scavenging clothes. Like, look, I'm in a run car, bitch.
Yeah.
What's up?
It's like, yo, this clothing's pretty stylish, dog.
Sam's gonna be like, I like your mask.
It's like, when are we going to find the
no, that's
Toleron
attached-
cars?
That's attached to your head. I'm
I
so
heard the
sorry.
head boss drops my top item.
Sam finds Nell.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, dude.
You're gonna have to convince him not to kill her.
I could do that easy. It's
She's
a little
a-
kid.
Yeah.
It's a little
Don't
kid.
kill her.
it's Captain Commander.
Yeah, he might.
That kid's dead
Yeah.
before he even got a chance.
But
man.
I feel like it would be a 3v1 vote.
Donda Chaka and
Yeah.
Pesha get wrecked
The
too.
other two people would want to do it.
do you
like
think they would threaten
to
Captain
fight?
Commander?
No.
Because they didn't. They have threatened
I
to fight
think
him
they
before.
would. Yeah, I think they would try to stop him, and then he would just eventually agree. Like, I don't think it would come to the terms of fighting. They were just like, oh, listen, she's just a kid.
He'd be like,
You
that's
would
your
really
responsibility.
question me? And
Yeah.
then he's like, oh, well, no, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, this be real.
yeah.
All right, what else we got?
Sorry,
Okay.
we got like 3 episodes left. So
Sure. So all the Soul Reapers are leaving Orihime's place because they've been taken back by force at this point. Rukia is the last to go. She looks towards Ichigo and she says, Ichigo, and like tries to get like attention, but Ichigo just fucking ignores the shit out of her. And
Cold
then Rukia says, I'm
shoulder.
sorry, and the gate closes. We see Tatsuki at this point. She's running around town looking for Orihime. We cut back. That's just a quick little scene. We cut back to the Visor training ground. They found a strange package outside. It's filled with bandages that have writing on the inside of them. Shinji reads it and says, that guy is an idiot. And then we cut away. And I don't think we ever find out what that was.
huh.
But it's heavily implied that Ichigo left some sort of a message for them, probably saying he's leaving, yada, yada. Ichigo's family breaks through Ichigo's door because we now see that Ichigo is kind of chilling back at home looking all mopey.
Yep. Mopey Ichigo.
Yep, Ichigo is just kind of phased out. They're trying to cheer him up, like, oh, we made all your favorite food. Like, come down and eat. And Ichigo's like, oh, sorry, I'm not hungry. And then they leave. Cone even gets his chance and tries to cheer up Ichigo, like try to like get a rouse out of him, but it's just not happening. And Ichigo just wants to go to bed. And then we cut to the next day at school. And we see Ichigo's teachers kind of giving him shit for not being in class for so long. It's like, where the fuck have you been? And like smacking him over the head.
Oh,
And Ichigo just doesn't really react unless you do it. So he's just in full mope mode.
It's like that walk with Naruto walking
Yes.
back to the village.
So
I mean-
Keigo and Mizuro, I think is his name, try to talk to Ichigo and cheer him up as well because everybody can tell he's in a fucking fucked up mood. They invite him to come see a movie with them on December 5th, which would be the winter time when the fight's supposed to happen. Ichigo looks at it and he's like, oh, yeah, it's like, sounds good. I should be back by then. And then he goes to leave. And by the way, he says that, and Keigo and Mizuro both are me like, wait, by then? Like, what?
Where are you going, bitch?
Yeah. Then we see Tatsuki come running out. She calls out to Ichigo. She says, Orihime, she's disappeared. She's not at home or anywhere. Her entire presence has disappeared.
Oh, that's right. She can sense spiritual pressure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's a real shame that she left notes for people that went back to fucking Soul Society.
Yep.
So Tatsuki's like, I know you know where she went. Like, admit to me where she went. Ichigo is like, oh, what do you mean by that? Why would I know? Besides, are you even really sure she disappeared? And Tatsuki grabs Ichigo by the collar, and she's like, cut it out. She's like, she says that she's always been able to sense Orihime, always. But yesterday she disappeared without a trace, and she demands that Ichigo tell her. But Ichigo sticks with the classic deny method. Tatsuki is like, listen, I've seen you. I've seen when you wear that black robe and go around fighting monsters. And she's like, you and all the others in that strange getup, tell me the truth. What are you trying to hide?
Lesbian superpowers are fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Ichigo is like, listen, it's none of your business. And then Tatsuki just fucking sucker punches Ichigo.
Yeah, I remember she punches the shit
him
out
like
of
kind
him.
of falling backwards. He hits his head against the window and breaks it.
Damn.
Like he got fucking clocked.
This is the Bleach I love.
Yeah, and Tatsuki's like yelling at him at this point. It's like, what do you think I am? Am I something that even matters to you? It's like, do you consider me a friend? Are you really my friend? It's like, and then we get flashbacks of like a young Tatsuki and Ichigo here because they were friends since they were both very little.
Yeah.
And she pleads to Ichigo at this point to just cut it out and stop trying to hide things from her. She is, by the way, doing this all in a public high school in a hallway.
Oh, yep, everyone's
because
watching.
there's a lot of people watching this point. Keigo and Mizuru are still there. Ichigo gets up and says sorry. Keigo and Mizuru kind of like pull back Tatsuki. And Ichigo says, do yourself a favor and stay away from me. And then he leaves. Tatsuki screams after him, says, you idiot. And then we cut.
Let's go.
Yeah. Urahara is hanging outside of his shop at nighttime now. He says, welcome back. I've been waiting for you, Ichigo.
See,
and then
he
we
knew,
see
the man
Ichigo
knew.
step out from a little alleyway in his Soul Reaper form now.
Oh,
Urahara's like, I knew you would come here because you thought I would know a way to get into Hueco Mundo. And you would have been correct.
I would have loved if Ichigo showed up in like an all black, like super bomb ass, like I'm a
outfit.
hip teenager, kind of like hoodie and everything.
So he invites Ichigo inside. He's like, I've made preparations. They head into the underground part. Urahara says he was afraid that when that Aizen would go after Orihime's power, so he tried to leave her out of the last battle, but he was too late. And he says, taking her feelings into consideration, it was my mistake to leave her out. He says, I will do anything I can to try to help you. Ichigo is like, are you sure about that? You're going to be going against the Soul Society's decision. And he's like, look, I'm here because I went against their rules in the first place. So we hear someone else off screen. He says, well, you sure are a sad sight, Ichigo.
Uryu.
And it's everybody's favorite
God
Uryu.
damn.
He's already there hanging out, full Quincy outfit, on top of one of the rocks. Ichigo's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, well, isn't it obvious? We're going to Hueco Mundo. It's like, oh, no.
It's a party. Where's Chad?
And then we hear Chad.
Yeah.
He shows up as well. And Ichigo tries to tell them immediately, he's like, you guys cannot come. You're not strong enough.
Good fucking call. I was just about to say.
So
Straight up.
Chad summons his arm and attacks Ichigo at this point. Like, does like a full force punch. Ichigo blocks it, so he's still not that strong. That's all I'm saying. But then Chad's like, oh, do you still think I'm not strong enough?
Yeah, but
Does Chad win a fight in Hueco Mundo?
No, fuck no.
Right?
Oh, actually,
Maybe.
he does win one fight, and then I think he immediately gets wrecked by
Noitra.
Noitra.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Is it Noitra or is it the guy that fights Renji?
It's Noitra. It's Noitra. Because he gets blasted.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
So Chad kind of says, like, don't take this on by yourself. This is what friends are for. Urahara claps and is like, oh, okay, we all ready? We good? And then he says, it looks like everybody's ready, and that's where this episode ends. I think this is the last episode we're covering today. We've gone through a fucking lot.
If only the four of them went,
Yeah.
Yeah.
would have been better.
We go to outside of Urahara's shop now. We rewind time a little bit, and we see Tatsuki, Keigo, and Mizuru. They followed Ichigo to Urahara's shop, and they're wondering what he could possibly be doing down there. Flashback to school. The three of them are in the nurse's office, kind of taking care of Tatsuki. And Keigo is the one to kind of point this out and says that Ichigo is such a big idiot, and it's so obvious that he's hiding something from them. Mizuru sees Tatsuki kind of looking all sad, and he's like, well, it's like, you want to know what he's doing, right? He's like, I got a plan. And then we cut back, and they basically just fucking followed him here.
That's the plan.
They're kind of like outside the shop, and they're kind of being like, oh, do we go in? Like, what do we do? And then Keigo starts making fun of Tatsuki and pisses her off, and then she kind of goes back to her normal self. And Keigo's like, oh, good, you're back to your normal self. So Keigo is a very good guy. That's all I wanted to get with that. Tatsuki eventually is like, yeah, we're going in there. And the three of them start to go forward. Back down to Urahara. He's setting up the gate to Hueco Mundo, which is basically just like two giant planks of wood inside of like 2 mountains that he has in his underground thing.
I remember that.
And he says a chant, and then it tears open a hole, just like the ones that all the Urankars come out.
The Garganta.
Yep, he explains it's called a Garganta.
Yeah, Garganta.
There is no solid ground beyond this point, only a chaos of reishi, and each of you must make your own path on this reishi to go towards the darkness, and you will arrive at Hueco Mundo. Ichigo is like, okay, and he tells Kisuke, he's like, can you let my family know I'm all right? Tell them not to worry, and I can take care of myself. Kisuke is like, well, what about your friends? And Ichigo is like, when I come home, I will apologize to them. And Urahara's like, okay, good. And then they all head through the Garganta. We stick with Urahara even after the gate closes. And he says, well, there they go. Why don't you 3 come out now?
Aww.
And then we see Keigo and company appear from behind a rock. Urahara says that he's known that they were there the whole time, ever since they originally started following Ichigo. So he left the store unlocked for them.
Oh, what a good guy.
And he does do like a final little narration, and he says, Ichigo, I can't believe how naive that boy can be. He thinks that friendship is a thing that you can just end by being cold to everybody. And he's like, well, time waits for no man, time to get back to work. And then we cut now to Orihime. We see her arrive in Las Noches in front of Aizen. Aizen immediately asks if she would be so kind as to show everybody her power. Orihime wonders kind of what that was. We get to see the classic kind of like reishi, or like the spiritual pressure kind of shake. And she says it felt as if her strength was being sucked out of her body. Aizen, I don't know if this was Aizen doing that, or if that was maybe Lupi, because Aizen here says, it seems that there are people who would much prefer that I had not brought you here to Hueco Mundo. Isn't that right, Lupi? So I think that maybe Lupi released a little bit of spiritual pressure and like
kind of intimidate.
Yeah. Lupi is me like, well, yes, of course I don't like it. It's like our battles mean nothing. We were just a diversion to get this girl. And he's like, frankly, it only makes me disgusted with her. And Aizen goes, it was shocking. I was surprised to see you beaten so severely.
Yeah.
And then Aizen goes, oh, I know what we should do. Orihime, demonstrate the strength of your power for us. I want you to heal Grimmjow's left arm. Oh. Lupi gets a little defensive about this. Like, no, it's impossible. Like, his arm got turned to ashes. Like, how is she going to heal something that doesn't even exist? She's not a god. Then Orihime goes over, says Satin Keshu, I reject, and begins restoring Grimmjow's arm back. The whole time, Lupi is just like fucking shit talking the shit out of her. It's like, no, it's impossible. Like, she can't do that.
Dumb bitch.
Then his arm's back. Aizen at this point explains, he says, you don't understand. Ulquiorra thinks it's temporal or spatial regression, and Lupi's looking really shook during this whole thing. Aizen continues on saying, it's neither one. It rejects all forms of phenomenon. Her power limits, rejects, and negates what has happened in an object. She has the power to return things to the state they existed before events change them. It exceeds temporal or spatial regression. Effortlessly, it overcomes the limits of all established phenomenon. It knows no borders or barriers. In fact, it oversteps the limitations set by gods.
Damn. Wow. Orihime is OP.
Aizen is loving this power. He's like, oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
That's how I do my research papers, too.
Lupi is in super shock as this narration is going on. Grimmjow now has his arm back. He says, hey, girl, come heal one more thing, and he points to the scar on his back for number 6. And Lupi's like, what do you think you're doing, Grimmjow? And then Grimmjow just like fucking punctures Lupi right through his stomach, says, your days are done. Goodbye, X number 6, and then Sarah's him right in the face. So 3rd time's the charm for Sarahing somebody in the face, in case you ever wanted to know. And it pretty much just disintegrates Lupi's upper body. Like, he's done. Oh. Goodbye, Lupi. Then Grimmjow begins to just laugh completely maniacally, saying he's back. And then we cut to Ichigo and the gang running through the darkness that is the Garganta. Ichigo says he talked about making a path through Reishi. He's referring to Urahara. He's like, he talked about making a path through Reishi as if it was so easy, but I'm terrible with things like this because his path is all like wobbly and shit.
Yeah, it's all wonky.
Chad is basically just following behind Ichigo on Ichigo's path, and he almost falls off into the darkness and has to hang onto the ledge. Ichigo apologizes, and then Ishida just comes like fucking Silver Surfering.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, I was like, how pathetic. And Ichigo gets mad. Ishida is like, your inability to use spirit energy means you wouldn't be able to use this method that I'm using. Chad finally gets back up and asks the question that everybody was waiting to know. He had heard from Urahara about his deal with his dad, which was if he got his powers back, he would promise never to help or work with anybody who associates with Soul Reapers ever again. So Chad says, why are you here at that point? Which we get a flashback time. We see Uryu. He's out of breath laying inside of the Quincy training grounds, we'll just call him. And then a hole opens up in the wall next to him. And we see Urahara. He's like, hello. It's like, he looks around, notes that his dad isn't here, and he says, I'm in luck then. So he wasn't hoping to see his dad either. He lets Ishida know. He's like, listen, Orihime's been abducted by the Urankars, or to be more accurate, they did it on Aizen's command. Ichigo is probably going to try to save her by himself, and I highly suspect that he will come to find me tonight seeking away no Hueco Mundo.
Aw, what a guy.
Ishida tells him to leave and says that he can't involve himself with Soul Reaper, so please go now. And if Orihime needs saving, he can do it by himself. Because there's kind of been this undertone throughout the whole series where, like, they kind of make you think Ishida likes Orihime, and it's like a whole back and forth thing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Aw.
So then Ishida stops and says, wait a minute, by himself? And Urahara's like, yeah, the Soul Society is having nothing to do with this incident. Ichigo made the decision to head into enemy territory completely by himself, and then here we are. Ishida says that because he's a substitute Soul Reaper, furthermore, you've been abandoned by the Soul Society, which in other words means you're neither a Soul Reaper or one of their associates, so it doesn't go against my contract. They continue on running, and we see Uryu's dad this time return to the training facility, and he finds a note folded up there. Then we hear a, hey, looks like Uryu ran away, doesn't it? And it's Isshin.
Hey.
He's there as well. Uryu's dad is like, how did you get in here, Isshin? And Isshin just ignores it, like, oh, what's this? And like, in all the years I've known you, you've never called me that. So like referring to his first name. At this point, Uryu's dad turns around and he sees that Isshin is in Soul Society or a Soul Reaper garb.
Form, yeah.
And he says, that attire, have you gotten all of your power back? And Isshin's like, yeah, pretty much. It's like,
Damn.
so at this point, Isshin is pretty much good to go. Like, he's full power at this point. Isshin asks if he's going to be reading the letter, and Uryu's like, nah, I already know what it's going to say. What's the point? Isshin is like, oh, so you wanted him to go? Then it's like, you knew the whole time? And Uryu said, listen, I brought back his Quincy powers. What he does is up to him. Whether he uses them or suppresses them, it doesn't really matter if he lives or dies.
Damn.
That's a true dad right there.
Yeah, well, Ishin's like, wow, what a horrible father.
Oh.
And Uryu's dad snaps back immediately. He's like, well, I'm a great improvement over you.
Oh!
And Isshin just sits down. He's like, I know. Yeah, it's sad. So we cut to Orihime, who is
They're both doctors, technically, right?
Yeah. He says one is much more of like a corporate doctor, and the other
yeah.
he's like a low medical doctor.
He's like what I would refer to what's her face from Kill la Kill, the family she's staying at.
The back alley doctor.
The back alley doctor.
So we cut back to Orihime, who she's in her cell now, where she gets to remain for most of her time in Las Noches, and she's having regrets over having come here. She's wondering if the battle has gotten much worse because she healed Grimmjow. So it's like, ooh, maybe I fucked that up. But then she eventually steadies herself, and she's like, no, right now I have to make sure they think I'm of use to them no matter what, at least until everyone is prepared to the battle. So she's planning to stall. She's like, I'm going to try and stay alive. I'm going to stall them out until winter comes by and everybody's prepared, and then they'll get fucked.
What if she got super close, became like the left hand of Aizen, and just one day I rejected his existence?
I don't think so.
I don't think she has that. Like,
You think she couldn't fucking just say I reject?
It doesn't go that fast. So.
But what if she trains?
I don't think they'd train her.
Because she has her attack power and then she has her healing power.
And
I think it would be quite a long time to reverse somebody out of existence.
Okay.
Especially someone who was a Soul Reaper that lives years and years and years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's true. That'd be a long time.
Do you think... what do you think? He's closer to death or birth? Like, fuck.
Yeah, does he have a fast forward button? It's like just.
But they say it transcends time, so she could just like yeet.
If she was powerful
but she's
enough,
never
maybe,
done anything that far back. So it's like,
I feel if they
has she ever even reversed anything further than like a week's time?
I don't think
so.
so.
Can you think of a time she's done a week? It's always only ever. Well, I guess the
Grimmjow's
Grimmjow arm was a while.
It was over a month.
Yeah, that was a while back.
I feel like they do it for drama to make it seem like it takes a longer process, but I feel like if they made a perfect character, she would be able to fucking do it immediately.
Nah, disagree.
Yeah. Okay.
So she's sitting in her cell, and she's saying that she's just going to stall. And then we get that giant sense of spiritual pressure thing just completely shaking Las Noches. We cut to Aizen, who he's feeling it as well, and he smiles and says, they're here.
Hey.
And that's where it ends. That's the last episode we get. So the boys have officially entered Hueco Mundo. They are going to try to storm Las Noches, and that's pretty much where we're at.
Do you think that's their spiritual pressure, though? Because I can't remember.
I would imagine, because they... So it could be, it could not be, because Ichigo famously is not good at hiding his spiritual pressure. Like, he just kind of lets it overflow, like, constantly, because he's a dummy.
Yeah.
But it could also be like, I don't know, spiritual pressure of the gate opening. Like maybe they're like, oh, someone just forcefully opened a Garganta.
Yeah, something like that.
Because I have a hard time believing that the three of them would give off that much spiritual pressure.
Yeah, and Captain Commander's not there.
Yeah, so it could be like a thing like, oh, it's like Urahara just like fucking brute forced a gate and like here it is. Okay. But yeah, they sense that they're there. So
we go into fillers soon, right?
We do. So last episode I said we were coming up to 10 episodes of filler, which is not the case. There's only 3 coming up. And it is the forest episodes, 100%. It has to be the forest episodes because it happens right when they enter. So I think the next few episodes coming up, what we have to look forward to is they meet Nell. And then I don't know what order it happens in, but they meet Nell, and then they go down in the forest. They meet that Soul Reaper that's been hanging out in Hueco Mundo. What happens after that, I don't remember. So they obviously make it to Las Noches at one point, and they start fighting the...
They break in through the guys before.
Hey, when does Rukia and Renji show up?
I'm pretty sure they show up right when they storm the castle.
After they meet Nell?
It has to be after Don Panini.
It has to be after they meet Nell.
Is it after Don Panini?
I feel like because Renji and Rukia fight.
That's
only
probably
inside,
accurate.
right?
That's probably accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, because Rukia fights number 9, and then right after that, Byakuya comes in and fights number 7, and then. I don't remember
because Renji and Ishida team up.
Yeah, and they're taking on number 10,
the science guy.
Number 8, yeah, the weird guy.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know, man.
So yeah, there's some spacing that happens there, but it's starting to get really good, and it does look like I was kind of checking out like what the fillers were. There are a lot of fillers that like start popping up, or like we have another filler arc coming up soon, which is like a solid probably like 15. Maybe 20 episodes coming up.
So when does the Zanpakuto arc come
Not
in?
for a long time.
Because that's like
that's like the last arc.
Yeah.
The last filler
arc, yeah.
So it is before Fate Karakura Town?
It might be right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be... Dude!
They do some stupid shit where they're like, well, this reminds me of A Tale of a Different Time or something.
Yeah, they do that. I remember that.
Yeah.
They do that.
Oh, that's bullshit. That is bullshit.
Yeah.
I'd be so pissed. I'd be like...
So we're in the good bits. But I'm
coming in, man.
Quite a few filler episodes that start popping up randomly.
Do you think the rest of the fillers have more of an arc though? Because I feel like the Zanpakuto.
I know for a fact
they
do.
Yeah,
they
give them
but okay, so there's not.
But I don't think any of them, not even the Zanpakuto Rebellion thing. I don't think any of them are as long as the Mount arc.
Yeah.
Oh, I think the Mount arc.
Dude, the Mount arc is starting to feel less and less like a fucking filler and more like
an actual arc.
It feels like because there's a character that remains.
So I left out a lot in this one, but the mod souls are very much in a lot of scenes.
Really?
In the episodes that we watch.
But they're always with like Urahara.
Yeah, they're hanging out with the Urahara shop constantly. But they'd have lines and stuff. Like when they're opening the gate to the Garganta, Tessai like moves them back. He's like, yeah, listen, you guys need to move back. Like, come on.
Okay.
I like Tessai. Tessai's
yeah, he's great. And they were also like when Renji and Chad stay behind, they were like all giving Renji a special mod soul massage where they were like fixing his muscles. And then it was funny, the end scene on that one, it was Renji and the mod souls, and they were like, just now for $14.99, you could get your own mod soul massage. And then Renji's like, let me tell you, it heals all of your muscles. And Ruki's like, what are you doing? It's like, well, they help me out, so I gotta help them out.
Help them out.
Like,
good guy, Renji.
Yeah, it was really good. I like the mod souls for comedy. They're very good, and they do a good job of like, I don't know. It's gonna make it sound like they not do a good job, but they don't infect the story at all. They do a good job of like, hey, look, the mod souls are here.
What you mean, yeah.
They're like, they have funny quips and stuff. But you would never know. Like, if you were watching the anime for the first time and had no idea that was filler, you would just assume they were there the whole time. Because they're like, oh, yeah, they're there when they're opening the gate, but let's move them back. It's
I guess they're like Ururu and Genta.
Yes, they're very much. They're basically Ururu and Genta times, plus 3.
Plus 3, yeah.
So, but they do a good job with them. You barely notice.
That's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, that does feel like the Mount arc isn't so much filler. It's just a different arc, and they were like, it was so bad and everyone hated it. We called it a filler.
Because I feel like for the first arc, like the first filler arc, they were like, hey, let's try and make this as seamless as possible. Like they really tried.
It makes sense, though. They had to work with what they had.
But then for like the filler arcs coming up, they very much are like, yeah, this is just a filler arc.
Little
like,
thing on the
like
side,
we're not going to come back to this. Here you go.
Gotcha.
Enjoy.
So you think it was intentionally a filler, but they tried to keep stuff
Yeah, because
from
I
it?
think they gave it the old college try for the first one. Like, we're going to put our earnest work in this. Like, oh,
we don't want it to be a
like
filler.
people hated this. Like, oh, shit. So then now they're like, we're just going to do full-on filler where it's like, you'll never have to hear about it again. Here's a nice story, and we'll move on.
Gotcha.
Okay, well, let's call it there because my voice is getting all rattly. That was Bleach Boys number 9. We're officially in Hueco Mundo. We have not reached Las Noches yet because we got to go underneath the sand.
Captain, I'm coming in.
Okay, so Jose will be joining for the rewatch. Oh man, it's the good shit is coming. So stay
Eventually.
tuned. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you watch this on YouTube. If you're listening to us on any of the other platforms, be sure to leave us a rating 5 stars, of course, because why not?
Yep.
And then leave us a good review. And we will see you guys next Wednesday for another episode. Thanks for watching.